Okay, so I'm going to talk about stuff I made at Chance. And yesterday I met somebody who had actually been struck by lightning. And I thought I brought her email address with me so you guys could all send her an email, but it looks like I thought better of that. So we're going to talk about some things here. My grandpa was Charlie Chaplin, not to be confused with Charles Spencer Chaplin, that actor fellow. My grandpa was a fur trapper from northern BC, and this is his wife, Laura Chaplin, and her pet moose, Molly. Now, Molly was a good moose and learned and wandered into a hunting camp, which isn't probably smart. So they sent her to live in a game farm in Alberta, where she learned how to play shuffleboard and canasta. This is a book I published called The Matchbook, A Fireside Fable. It's got matches in it. It's got lots of matches in it, 20 in fact. You can use it to burn big books you don't want to read. And they had to file it in the library with all the other books. Right, because it has an ISBN. Right, see there, ISBN. So that's an international standard book number. And that means it's a real book. Anyways, that's it. And then we got, and they're for sale at the Paper Hound Books. She's got a bunch of them in the drawer if you want them for stocking stuffers or to burn other books you don't want. This is Kim Koch from the Paper Hound. And then I published I decided to let the government incur my printer's bill. And so I decided to print genuine original Canadian fun tickets. Right? And then I got a bunch of fun tickets from a very good friend of mine, Scott. And then we bound them into books of tickets. So you can get fun tickets, and they're in books, and you can rip them out and use them for fun. Like anywhere in Canada, you can use them for ice cream or rides in a whorehouse. Right, and you might think that it's not fun. The National Library didn't think it was very fun, so I sent them to file in the Canadian collection of the British Library. And, I mean, that sounds kind of prestigious, except when you talk to the curator of the Canadian collection of the British Library, it's Canada and the Caribbean. So there's not a whole lot, like maybe, Alice Munro excluded, there's probably not a whole lot of literature in Canada, so you guys should all write some more books. Okay, we got that, and then I wrote these ones and then published them, and they're all different, and I can show you them at Show and Tell. And then this is the world's smallest book. It's carved on a silicon microchip right here, and you can see that it's really small, but actually the tablets, there's a collection of 30 tablets all like this, and they're like measured in microns, but the line width here, it says turnips are the way of life here in Turnip Town. The line width on here is 42 nanometers. So a nanometer is a millionth of a millimeter. And I'll tell you how many nanometers are in a light year at the end. And then this is another one of the tablets. And you can see this one says turnips, turnips, turnips. They're quite a sight to see, fatty ones and skinny ones, and those as big as me. Right, and that's all from Teeny Ted from Turnip Town. This is a large print edition of the world's smallest book. It's actual size, see? Like it's the size of a regular book. No, I don't want to hurt anyone. It'll hit somebody in the head. That would be bad. That's liable, but you can get a matchbook after. This is one of the illustrations from Teeny Ted from Turnip Town. This is the character for the large print edition. And then these are all the books together. And then this is Elephant Mom from the Elephant book. And then this is Elephant Shoes, which is a screen print that I made about the elephant shoes. And then this is the world's shortest fairy tale. Once upon a time, everyone lived happily ever after, the end. And this is sort of going to be something about chance, because, like, what are the odds that fly is going to survive? Right? But what are the chances that you would actually get to see the frog and that fly for that split second in time when they're living happily ever after? It's kind of nice, just for that instant. They're both alive and happy. Yeah, and this is a coffee table. It's made out of terrazzo, and I published it. I made a coffee table book. I figured if art could imitate life, life could imitate TV. So this is it says the coffee table, and then it has the ISBN, and then it's published by me. And then Walter Gibson was the guy whose shop I did it in, and it's all done with cut glass and concrete. We used glass and marble as an aggregate, and then poured each color like cookie dough, and then cut it and polished it after it was hard. And this is another book I did. This is a collection of Russian dolls. Each doll is a page in the book. The biggest doll, of course, is the cover with the ISBN and all that information, and the smallest doll has the last word written on it. Right. So that's a book. And this is a book. This is a book which I published 2 years ago. When you open it up, there's a medal inside, so it's got a dimensional illustration inside. And they hand it out as a Lifetime Achievement Award to book designers. The Alcuin Society does. And this is a picture from a show I had in the springtime. And this is when talking about being chancy, like besides like being chancy, like sending a pack of matches to the library and expecting them to file it, and letting the government incur your printer's bill, which is kind of like, I decided to also hand draw my own personal checks for a few years. And because the bank was sending them back to me in my monthly bank statement, there got to be quite a lot of them. And then I decided that it would be really chancy if I just took the Canadian coat of arms and did whatever the hell I wanted with it. So I just took it, and I took out all the crap I don't like the English and French shit. I don't care about that. I took that out. I took the garbage out of the middle, and I changed the motto to something decent. And so we started the Royal Canadian Snowflake Collection. Right? And this way Canadians can give themselves something really much better than an Order of Canada. They can get a snowflake in the Royal Canadian Snowflake Collection. They can sponsor it. There's a whole bunch of them right up here on this blanket, which I'll show you at Show and Tell. And then there's these are the details from it. And this is, I got parking spot at Scott Hawthorne's parking spot for a year, and I did the Royal Canadian Snowflake Factory. How do I make this play? Oh, good. So these are all the snowflakes in the Royal Canadian Snowflake Collections. Well, not all of them, but quite a lot of them. And they're all different. Each one's different. Everyone is different. So it's like a 53-second movie with all the snowflakes. Well, you have to have pauses. They're important. If you were doing the I Had a Dream speech, it wouldn't be very chancy without pauses. It's much better with pauses. Right? So these are the snowflakes. And each one of them is sculpted in epoxy resin, and then a rubber mold is made off of it. Then it's got a wax injection, and then invested in plaster and done with lost wax casting. So it's a bit of a process. And if you want to sponsor a snowflake, you have to give me the money up front. And I raise the price every year. It's on the website. Just click the PayPal button, and you can sponsor a snowflake. Tell me what you want to name it, and I'll make it for you. Yeah. And then you can wear it on your lapel pin, like an Order of Canada. And the really great thing about that is you get treated with way more respect at customs. You don't have to bring your own rubber gloves to the airport anymore. Seriously. Like, do you trust the ones that they have? I'm bringing the Rubbermaid ones. They're really good. That's it for the Snowflake movie. These are, then I thought it would be good to use them in a combinatory way, because that way I could make unique pieces of jewelry where no two pieces are the same by using the fact that it only needs to have one snowflake different than everyone else's, and it's still different. So it's a snowflake chain for around a neck. It's an 18-inch chain. It has 22 snowflakes on it, I think. And then this is a small one for a bracelet. And then this is I decided to carry the theme on a bit, and this is a hand-carved silver pillbox. But it's just right for like, you can put a condom and a couple ecstasies in it if you want to go dancing. And then this is, I don't know if you can see this slide, but it's a snowball. I carved it out of a 10-centimeter sphere of lead crystal. And then this is the Royal Canadian Snowflake Collection called Snow Falling on Smallpox Blanket, and that's how I signed it with the snowbird. Right, and this is a manhole cover that I made, and I brought it with me. I can show you at Show and Tell. I entered a city manhole cover competition, and I decided to take a chance and sculpt my design rather than just give them a drawing. And so even though I didn't win the competition, I was able to take my sculpture and cast it in bronze and sell it to a collector. And I made a copy of it for me with both sides on it, so I can, because one was for sewer and one was for storms. And then these are some church keys I made. They're also belt buckles. And it says on it, "Don't make me take off my belt." Quite often I put cheeky writing into things. So that's good, right? This is a Brussels sprout. Sing and shout and dance about. There's magic in a Brussels sprout, boiled up and served in butter, baked into a pie. I love to eat the Brussels sprout. To go without would make me cry. Have faith and never ever doubt. There's magic in a Brussels sprout and cheese sauce or in minestrone. I will stand and testify. I love to eat the Brussels sprout. To go without, I'd rather die. And then we got a Phillips auction. These guys have been hustling art for a long time, like since the 1700s. And they have an office in New York. So I decided to put the sprout in the preview. And there's an Ellsworth Kelly painting and a Calder mobile. And I just put it in there and took a picture of it. And that's good enough. Okay, now this is a chicken egg recursion generator. It tells you which came first. And it's biologically accurate, because that's a rooster. And roosters always come first. And this is a hematite carving I did. It's an Elizabethan head with a crazy ruffled collar, and I carved it out of a stone called hematite, which is, for any kind of chemists and rockhounds, it's FeO3. It's iron crystal. And there's a couple different forms of iron crystal. This is the same carving from the other side, so it's three-dimensional. So, and it does this thing where, it's a surprise when you flip it over and take a look. And I got into that. I like the idea that there should be a surprise in pieces of art. So this is a toad. I carved it out of jade, and I made the eyes out of 18-karat gold and black jade from Guatemala so it would look real. Because toad's eyes are beautiful if you take the time to look. Most people don't, but they're really good. And then this is a hammer. I brought it too. This is a Estwing 16-ounce hammer, and I made it into a piece of jewelry for ladies' home defense. So it's got an 18-karat gold bezel with a garnet on it here, which you'll be able to see in real life. And then it's the business end is right up here. So if somebody breaks into your house, you can hit them on the head with it, and they can wear it like a sweet piece of jewelry. And it's called the Malleus Maleficarum, and the title of that comes from a book. So this is a book review. The book of the Malleus Maleficarum was published in 1484 by the Catholic Church, and it's the legal treatise for how to conduct the Inquisition, how to identify witches, hunt them down, and expunge them and send their souls to heaven. Which sounds nice, but it's not really. So I thought maybe the ladies could use something in their defense, and if it took 500 years for the church to pardon Galileo, it could take 500 years for somebody to properly criticize the Malleus Maleficarum. So this is mine. Attempt at that. And then this is a pair of bat earrings made out of 14-karat gold, and they're little bats, and they can hang from your ears. They're little twinkle, twinkle little bats. And this is a human heart model, which I carved in hematite originally and then pulled a rubber mold off of it and cast in copper. And I have it here too, so you can touch and feel it. And this is a roly-poly man. I don't have him here. And he's roly-poly, so he can stand on his own head and spin around. And then this is a skull ring I made out of gold. And you can use it to... it's a kinder, gentler knuckle duster because it has a low profile. So you can actually wear it under a pair of gloves. if you're riding your bike. And this is another ring I made. It's a bird. And I wear it on my middle finger, so when I'm riding my bike, I can like show off to the cars. And this is the frying pan. This is the lovebird frying pan. You can see the word Love carved into the frying pan backwards. Michael's got that one. And I don't know, you could use it in a domestic dispute, or you can hang it on the wall, or you can make a pancake in it, and because it says love backwards, the word comes out the right way on the pancake. So it's a lovebird pancake maker. It's multifunctional. And there's another view of it up close where you can see it. Oh yeah, and the other thing, the whole slide's not on there, so it's okay. There's a greedy goblin. I cast him out of bronze, and he can hang around your neck on a little cord. And people think he's well hung, but really he's just got short legs. And this is the duck bunny. Duck bunny. Duck bunny. Duck bunny. Okay, Duck Bunny was originally published in Wittgenstein, and it's a bit of German philosophy, but it's basically something and the same thing can exist in two states simultaneously. Not exactly like Schrodinger's cat, but kind of like that. And so it can be a duck or a bunny, or a duck or a bunny. But it's the same thing. It just depends on how you look at it. And I didn't know if I was going to be able to design it with the whole body, but I did, because they always just show it in the textbooks with just the head. And then this is a ring that I made out of a toonie. It says anti-disestablishmentarianism on it. Anyways, it's a pretty long word. It's the second longest word in the English language. The first longest word is floxinosinylapillification, which is to take a tiny pill, or a tiny wisp of wool and roll it into a pill. That means floxinosinylapillification. This is anti-disestablishmentarianism. But I got it by, you can knock the middle out of a toonie really easy. You need a dapping block and a ball peen hammer. And if you smack that just right, the middle falls right out of it. And then you can take that piece of, that disc with the hole in it, and you can put it on a ring mandrel and pound it into a ring pretty quick. And then you can sand it and then carve a word in it. Anything you want. And this is one that my friend Bill has, and it's this is a paddle. He when he delivers food or the bill at his restaurant at Nick Liansley Pizza, he delivers it on these metal things, and I got one from him, and then I carved it into a decoration for his baby's room, and it says on it on the other side, "This is not a paddle," or no, "This is not a rattle." Right? It's not a rattle. It's a paddle. And then this is a railroad spike. This came from a train track, but I got it from the engineering department. But I showed it to a friend of mine who does like graphic design on the internet, and he said, "You mean they still use railroad spikes?" And I'm like, "Yeah, do you think they hold the trains down with the internet?" It's got hobo signs carved on it. Like this is these are hobo signs, and then I put the trademark for the CN on it too, because it's like a kind of like it's all train culture. And I didn't know how I was going to pay my rent one month, so I showed my landlord. I just carved a railroad spike, and he's like, "Well," and I go, "Do you want to trade for rent?" And he's like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "Okay, I'll make an appointment with my friend." So he phoned his friend, and I went down to go talk to his friend, who happened to be the chairman of the board of the CN at the time. So I sold him 3 and paid rent for 6 months. Being chancy is good. And this is these are components for a piece of art I made with Scott, and these are birds. You see the birds flying, right? And they're made out of 18-karat gold. And then you see the fishes. So it's a tessellating bird-fish design. But then we use them as components to make this, which is the crown for the king of Gastown. Right? And it says, "Sing and feast and celebrate, long live our king is great, Gastown is a city-state" on it. Because I think succeeding from Canada is a good idea. And this is a short movie. You can see it's got the sprocket holes and everything to go in the projector, but it's made out of a solid piece of sterling silver, and it's 35 millimeters wide, so it's a 35 millimeter movie. And this one's a romantic comedy about two people getting engaged, so it's got a story on it about Sneaky Pete and Sandra and how she got proposed to. And then this is a spaghetti western about Sneaky Pete and Sandra having dinner at the old spaghetti factory. Because when they were young, they couldn't afford to go to a really great restaurant. And there wasn't any in Gastown at the time. There's lots now. Anyways, so they went there. And this is a 16 millimeter movie, and it only has sprocket holes on one side because it's sound film, not silent film. Right? But since people all use digital filmmaking now, this kind of antiquarian stuff is like really, it falls into the distant past rather quickly. So it's kind of fun to use it as a object. We still think about film as having the holes in it, but we don't use it anymore. And it's made out of sterling silver as well. And then this is a secret piece of art. It's a rock. And my accountant, Rudy, owns it. And it's really great because when you flip it over, he's got it in his office right beside his phone, right? And there's nothing else on the table, and people go in and they see it, and then they're nosy Parkers, so they pick it up and they see that. So they maybe took a chance, but it didn't kill them. But they got to be reminded that they're going to die. And this is a top secret piece of art, and you'll never know what's in here unless Scott tells you what is in there. Because I'm not saying. Yeah, and Scott got it, and it's a table in his house, and it's got a safe. It's a wall safe. I pulled it out of a house I renovated, helped renovate. And then inside, and then I had it built into this cedar table. So it's like cedar. It's really delicate, right? You know how delicate cedar is. It's like soft wood. So it's a bit like balsa wood, but it's kind of nice because this heavy thing won't break it, but it's just sort of like the incongruous, or the contrast of materials, I think, is good. And then it's got a glass top. And then there's you can open it up, and inside there's a secret piece of art. And so when I sold it, I gave Scott the combination. So he can open it and see what's in it, and you guys can't. And that's the way it is. It's a secret piece of art. Because I think people don't participate in buying art so much as people buy art, but they don't really buy art. They buy the right to participate in an interesting story, or to know a cool secret, or to have something that nobody else has. This is an expletive surrounded by deep blue, written in Russian. It says "Yo to Vyebmat," which means "fuck your mother," which is pretty bad. And this one's an expletive surrounded by deep blue in English. See, it says F-U-C-K, right? Fuck. And these are are like checkerboards, because I made them because Kasparov, who was the world's greatest chess player, lost to Deep Blue. Deep Blue is a computer that IBM built and beat the greatest living chess master at it. At his favorite game. And it's really too bad, because he was the best human and he was really good at it, but now computers can beat him. It's like they programmed a toaster to beat the best human. It's happened a couple times, like with Paul Bunyan and the steam saw, and there's other stories like that, and I kind of like them. So I thought maybe that's what was going through his mind after the computer beat him. So they're titled "Expletives Surrounded by Deep Blue." Right? And because I got into doing that, I got into making chess sets out of Lego. When I started carving, people were asking if I could make chess sets, and I was like, yeah, but it would cost a lot. This is a PhD in Lego, Ph-D. And the advantage of my unaccredited PhD program is it doesn't take years off your life, it doesn't cost thousands of dollars, and you can get them pretty quickly. And they only cost $360. And they look just as good when you hang them upside down. Yeah, so that's good, and they're fully unaccredited. See, being chancy is okay as long as you're amusing. So I made this, after making a few Lego chess sets, I got into the idea that maybe I could make the most compact one I could design. And in this one, all these pieces, all the chessmen, store underneath and so you can transport the thing like a little cube, see? And I'll show you guys at show and tell. Okay, and then this is me playing chess against Gary Kasparov. And even though a computer beat him, he's still really good. And he beat me in 7 moves, but I'm pretty bad. But, you know, and if you beat me at chess, you might be as good as him. I don't know. I mean, like, and then this is him learning how to put the board back together again. So that's good. And then this is me being chancy with Canadian Tire money. I don't know. People have mittfuls of this shit, their glove boxes and drawers, their houses, but it actually has some value if you take it to Canadian Tire, right? And this is the thing. So I decided to make Canadian Tire collages, and these are tartans that I made out of Canadian Tire money by gluing different denominations of bills together, right? Because they use the same design, the shift between the red and the green is really slick, and the shift between the red and the purple, it's really clean, right? And it's just made from cutting and pasting it together. Like not in the computer, but by using an X-Acto knife and a glue stick. Right, and so I made them. And then this is a drawing. It says word on it. See? W-O-R-D. And then I put a bird in it. Anyways, this is me painting the wall in Judas Goat, which is no longer there. But it's good. It's got the goat, and it had the story of the Judas Goat in it. Which the Judas goat was the goat that led the animals from the other animals to the abattoir. Right, that's why it's called the Judas goat. And then this is pied à terre. I did it, it's a flying pig. And it says pied à terre restaurant français. I painted that on Cambie Street. And then this is some tessellating fish that I designed for wallpaper. And tessellating means the shapes repeat. Like you can lock them together and they repeat. So this one does head to tail, head to tail. And then this is an elephant in a freak snowstorm. And my elephants always have fat back. Like, I like putting a delicious booty on an elephant. It's good. But the thing about it, the thing that makes a booty look good, I got to tell you, is this extra line. It's not much of a chance, but it's that extra line, because that shows the width on the sacrum. So if you ever draw an ass, make sure you draw that extra line, because if it's just 2 lines, it looks like a peach or something. But if you draw that on there, it's got sacrum. It's sacrilicious. And those are lovebirds. This is the new thing. I'm making lovebird pins right now. And I'm stamping them out of copper, and then they're nickel plated and enameled. So it says L-O-V-E inside the bird. Can you see that? Yeah, because once you can see it, you can't unsee it. And so there's one of the ones that's done. It's enameled. I stuck it on a poppy and made that picture. Have I gone over 20 minutes yet?
That's it.
Is it exactly 20 minutes?
You're done.
Perfect. Now we're going to have show and tell.
Robert, I often like to ask the first question just to get things going, and I asked Robert twice. Is there a question you want me to ask? Is there an issue you want to talk about that won't fit in your talk? And Robert said, how about this? Whatever's going through your mind after I do my talk, ask that question. I have no idea what that question would be. I do. For me, personally, and a lot of the people I know that do creative pursuits, quiet and solitude and focus is a very important part of the craft. Where do you find quiet? All right, who has a question? Who has one?
You might not have this, and if you don't, God bless you. Fear. You don't seem to care what the other people are going to think about it, how you're going to pay the bills. You give that impression. But how do you deal with it? Or do you deal with it? Do you even have it?
How old are you?
Too old. 39.
Yeah, well, the fear's probably already set in, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, don't worry, that happens to everyone. You just have to knock it out of your head when you're working on your own things. And you have to get on the goddamn telephone sometimes. and phone people, and then you have to send pictures. Oh, by the way, if you guys like what you saw and you want to get a picture every once in a while on your phone, just phone me. My number is 604. Get your phones out right now. Type it in. Type it in. Make a contact out of it. It's so easy. I don't really do email very well. I mean, I do it, but
he doesn't. He sucks at email.
I don't have a proper thing set up. I should have, and I tried before, but it gets hard to update it. So just send me a phone number and your name, and I'll send you a picture every once in a while. 604 676 1852. Yeah, just text me with your name. And
Where's Rob McGuire?
And write Creative Mornings.
Rob, live tweet that. Did you get that number? Tweet that. Everybody, and then tell the world, everybody text message Robert Chaplin.
Yeah.
I want a picture now.
What happens when you get too many text messages at the same time?
The world explodes.
What was the question?
Fear. Fear. You answered
Oh yeah, you gotta knock that shit out of your head. You just gotta get on the phone and phone people and send pictures out and talk to people, because when you talk to people, it makes you less feared. And because they all have their fears too, but it's not as important when you talk to people and show them stuff, because people go get on side.
There's a bunch of us in the room that get those photos and those text messages, and I'm telling you, they're actually pretty entertaining. Those are good phone calls. They're good messages. He'll be like, "Look what I made!" And I'm like, "I want one," and he'll tell you how much it costs, and then you'll be like, "Oh, I can't afford that." Who's got a question?
I like to make art for every taste and budget.
Question. Back here again.
Yes.
Thanks. I'd like to ask about your creative process a little bit, because watching your review, you do some very interesting things. You do books and films in ways that aren't typical.
I don't know, these books are pretty typical. Check it out. It's got a hardcover with a dust jacket. It's got a book review by Timothy Taylor, famous author. It's got writing in it, and it's designed. This is the simplest one for the youngest people. The Elephant Book.
Sure.
Elephant 1.
But the coffee table's a little different, right?
Wait. Elephant 2. Elephant 2. Elephant 3.
Yeah.
Elephant poo. Kids love that shit. Elephant shoes. Elephant hat. Elephant skinny. Elephant fat. Elephant happy. Elephant sad. Yeah, you got it. You're picking up what I've put down. Elephant mom. And elephant dad. That's right. Little flying bird is an elephant friend. The end. See? That's got the extra line on it. And after the end, there's a thesaurus, which has other words for all the words in the book, so no one has to grow up ignorant. Words.
Nice. So your approach is educational.
Well, infotainment.
Is it an organic process for you? Like, do you kind of have a concept? This would be. I'm trying to get a sense of your day-to-day as a creative.
Get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, make yourself a pot of coffee, have breakfast, and then go to work.
And where do you go to work? Anywhere? Or?
My office.
Which is in
It's
your...
in Chinatown.
Nice.
I've got it set up there. I've got tools for making things. Get yourself some tools that you like to work with.
Right.
Yeah, that's important.
Is it like a jam? Something comes out of you just sort of fiddling around with material and stuff? Or do
Start a bunch of projects, right? And then just work on whatever you can at the time when you need to work on something. And then get on the phone and try and sell some stuff so that you can make some money to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Right. Next question, Scott.
Thanks, Robert. I think one of the things I really appreciate about you is you're not scared of engaging anybody, and you'll do it in your own sort of Robert way. And I think one of the pieces that you've done that I find the most sort of telling and inspiring is when you reached out to the Queen and you wrote a few letters. So why don't you tell everybody about the letters you wrote to her?
Okay, so you guys saw the wall of checks that I drew, right? When I showed pictures? Okay, each one of those checks was a hand-drawn document, right? So I thought, well, I mean, I'm signing these things, and the bank returns the original document to me with my signature on it. So I get all this art back. I thought, well, I can send original checks out to people, made out to them, and collect their autographs. And I know the Queen doesn't give out her autograph, ever, for any reason. You can't ask the Queen for her autograph. But you could get her signature if she was to cash a check. But since she only signs laws and stuff, I got sent like really, really awesome PFO letters from the palace. Please fuck off. Right, okay, so, and the ones I got were from the Queen's personal correspondence officer. I don't know, she's got a bunch of ladies in waiting and dowagers answering letters in the palace, right? So if you send a letter to Buckingham Palace, you will get one back within 2 weeks. Right, so HM the Queen, Buckingham Palace, London, SW1. Okay, send a letter to the Queen. Yeah, so so I sent the Queen a check for $10, or for £10, and I asked her to cash it, right? And she sent me back a letter, the Queen personal correspondence officer sent me back a letter saying, I'm afraid the Queen cannot accept your gift of $10. So I sent it back and I said, could you please draw to Her Majesty's attention that my check was in fact made payable in pounds and will present no difficulty at the bank. And so the chief correspondence officer, oh, by the way, her name was Deborah Bean, and I thought maybe she had like a Mr. Bean and a couple of little beans running around the house. But anyway, so Deborah Bean sends me back another letter with the check, and she said, I should have made it clear in my last letter that the Queen does not accept gifts of money in any denomination. I thought, oh, well, this sucks. Anyways, I mean, she's on our stamps. I mean, she should be paying us for that at this point. The thing is, so I sent back another letter. I made up the check payable for £20, and I addressed it to Mrs. Bean. And I told her to cash it and then get the Queen a little something. Hey, wait, she sent that one back too. Okay, next question.
How many projects do you usually have on the go at once?
I don't know, but I could name them.
All right.
Go for it.
Well, do you really want me to? Like they will take up
Yes.
the rest of the talk and you'll be here till lunchtime. No, I just start things and I don't know. I'll probably die with unfinished work. Like, you know, if I got hit by a bus today, I'd die with a bunch of unfinished work.
I was in Robert's studio a little while ago, and he started, one of the things I adore about Robert, he is a true believer. Like, Robert, what you see is real. This is the real deal. And he believes in his art, and he's passionate about the ideas, and he's really fired up. He doesn't give a flying fuck if it makes money, which is a shame. He probably could try it. Anyway.
No, I want things to make money.
But he doesn't.
No, seriously, I have stuff for every taste and budget. I'm going to sort out all your Christmas stocking stuffers this day.
But if you start getting him talking about his art, he'll start unpacking literally trunks of work and showing you the work. And we were talking about this, kind of like, how many things do you have going? And he was sitting there, and we were talking and having a coffee or whatever, and he was fiddling with one of his things. And later when you come up and look at these are these hematite sculptures, and he does these eggs. And he was working away to fiddling, and he goes, well, like this one, you should buy this one for Andrea. Want this, Andrea? And I'm like, it's an egg covered in incredibly accurate, incredibly convincing looking Band-Aids. It's an homage to Humpty Dumpty. And I said, whoa, that's crazy. How long did that take you? He goes, oh, I have no idea, but I started in 2004. It's done now. What? He's afraid when I touch it.
We can have show.
It.
It's because you
Give
said
it
you were
back.
Butterfingers.
Yeah.
We're going to have a show and tell if you guys want to check out some stuff after. More questions? Who's got another question? You at the back.
Go back. You're next.
So I guess maybe for me, one of the biggest chances is deciding to, stop working 9 to 5 and go full time doing your own craft. And I feel like in, today's climate of Vancouver, that's where you really want to be, working for yourself if you have, maybe the guts or the belief to do so. The question I have for you though is when did you decide to just, have you ever like had a full-time job, and if then when did you make the leap and just say, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to work for myself and make my own stuff?
When you decide that it's okay to start missing paychecks, then quit your job. Honestly, like if it's okay. Like if you hate your job so much, and if you hate the entity that you work for so much, and you hate being told what to do and how to do it and how to think about things, if you get to the point where you're like, fuck that noise, I don't mind missing a few paychecks, then walk. Right? But if missing a single paycheck bothers you, stick with it. That's the only advice I can give you about timing on that.
We have time for 2 more questions.
Kind of related, but what was your first chance? Where did it all begin? And then on that, what felt like the biggest chance you took?
I pulled the fire alarm in grade 3. I did a bomb threat in high school, and it was in the springtime. And like this is like before there was such a thing as like terrorists, right? So, and I was living in Smithers, Telkwa. I was going to school in Smithers, and like it was sunny and hot, 10 days in a row, kind of like June thing, and you're like, fuck this noise. So I phoned a bomb threat, and they got the RCMP to look at it, and then we all went to the beach. And nothing bad happened. And then the next year, the principal said, hey, if you do that again this year, you're going to get in big trouble. And I go, what are you talking about? He goes, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Just drop it. So that was it, right? Question, JJ.
Hold on.
You have one too, so I'll answer yours too.
A bunch of us here notice that there is a consistent theme of duality in your work. What is your interest in duality or the telling of a story from 2 different sides?
Well, I don't know. I mean, stories are stories, right? I mean, when you tell a story, it's going to have more than one side to it. Like, that's guaranteed. If the story is interesting, it should be multidimensional. Is that okay? Okay, good. You.
Hold on.
This is the last question.
Generally speaking, does the story come first and then the art, or does the art bring the story out?
I don't know. I did a chicken egg recursion generator. It's up here.
Yeah, exactly.
It tells you which comes
exactly.
first.
Okay, that was one of my favorites.
I'll have to leave that one up to you.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you do it any way you want. Let your freak flag fly. However you like it.
Amen.
Yeah. Okay, that's it for questions. If anyone wants show and tell, I've got some stuff for you guys to look at, but you have to be kind of gentle with it, and you can even handle things. Just don't drop it on the concrete floor. And they're up here. Robert. Thanks, Mark. Thank you. What's that? Thanks, man. Thank you.